trust me, I grew up in this life. And everything that my parents did, my mama, my daddy did, it came back to me, and that's not cute.
Ever wondered what it's like to grow up with a rap icon as your dad? Well, it's not all glitz and glamour. In fact, you might be shocked to learn that one rapper's daughter has been in and out of rehab more times than her dad's been on tour. If you are curious about who it is and what went down, you're in the right place. We're diving deep into the controversial lives of rap royalty. Being a rapper's daughter isn't just about fancy parties and designer clothes. These girls have to deal with some serious controversies and scandals. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Eminem's daughter Hailey. Speaking of princesses of hip-hop, let's talk about the ultimate rap royalty, Eminem's daughter Hailey Jade. You know her name from countless lyrics, but have you ever wondered what it's like to grow up as the daughter of one of the most controversial rappers ever? Hailey's story is wilder than we might have thought. Born on Christmas Day in 1995, Hailey came into the world just as her dad was blowing up in the rap game. As Eminem's fame skyrocketed, little Hailey found herself caught in a whirlwind of public attention. It's no wonder she struggled with her identity growing up. One minute she's just a regular kid, and the next, she's the subject of her dad's chart-topping songs. But here's where things get really intense. In 2002, when Hailey was just 6 years old, her parents went through a nasty divorce. Eminem and Kim's relationship troubles were splashed across tabloids, and poor Hailey was caught in the middle of it all. As Hailey entered her teen years, she faced a whole new set of challenges. And let's not forget about social media. In 2013, when Hailey was 17, she found herself in hot water after tweeting some not-so-nice things about Taylor Swift. Hailey wrote, "If at Taylor Swift 13 is really dating the love of my life at Harry Styles, I will not be happy. Dear at Taylor Swift 13, please stop whoring around with every guy you see. We all know you're only doing it so you can make another album. I am never ever ever listening to your music again at Taylor Swift 13. Like ever." The internet exploded, and suddenly, Hailey was at the center of a major controversy. Thankfully, she apologized soon afterwards, saying, "Wow, I didn't mean for people to react to my tweet in the way that they have. It was just a bit of fun. Sorry at Taylor Swift 13 for my immaturity." Mathers added, "I believe I'm entitled to my own opinion, but that got out of control. I don't understand why there are news articles written about it. But here's the thing. Through all the drama and public scrutiny, Eminem has always had Hailey's back. He may be known for his tough guy image, but when it comes to his daughter, he's a total softie." Hailey was his #1 priority, Karen Pinegar, office manager at Mixroom, added. "It was all about the baby. That's what he cared about and talked about." In interviews, he's talked about how proud he is of Hailey and how she's kept him grounded. "I'm not as religious as I should be, but we do try and instill it in our daughter," Eminem once said of Hailey. "We try to teach her wrong from right, having been as wrong as we've been." As Hailey got older, she started to forge her own path. She graduated from Michigan State University in 2018 with a degree in psychology. And get this, she did it with a 3.9 GPA. These days, Hailey's doing her own thing. She's become an influencer on Instagram, sharing her life with over 2 million followers. But don't expect any wild party pics or scandalous posts. Hailey keeps things pretty low-key. It's like she's finally found a way to balance her famous last name with her own identity, which just goes to show that even when you're born into the spotlight, you can still choose your own path. Hailey's faced more drama in her 27 years than most of us will in a lifetime, but she's come out stronger for it. And isn't that what being a true princess of hip-hop is all about? DMX's daughter Sasha. Speaking of wild stories, let's talk about DMX's daughter Sasha Simmons. Sasha and DMX's bond was more like a stormy night. These two had a pretty rocky relationship, and it showed in some pretty intense ways. DMX was no stranger to legal troubles.
Rapper DMX has been arrested in the upstate again.
And it looks like some of that rubbed off on his daughter. Sasha's had her fair share of run-ins with the law. We're talking about multiple arrests here. But Sasha didn't just have problems with the law. She also struggled with substance abuse. It's like she was caught in this vicious cycle of arrests and rehab stints. One step forward, 2 steps back. We wonder how much of this was influenced by her dad's own battles with addiction.
I never felt like this. Like it just me up. I'm like, I later found out that he laced the blunt with crack. Why would you do that to a child?
Before he passed away, DMX did try to intervene in Sasha's life. He knew firsthand how destructive addiction could be, and he didn't want his daughter to go down the same path. But sometimes, even when your dad's a famous rapper, it's not enough to keep you on the straight and narrow. The truth was that they were both fighting their own battles, but neither one could really help the other.
I just blocked it out. But there's only so much you can block out, before you run out of space.
T.I.'s daughter Deja. Deja grew up in the spotlight thanks to her dad's rap career and their family's reality TV show. In 2019, T.I. said something on a podcast that made everyone's jaws drop. He talked about taking Deja to the doctor for yearly hymen checks.
Not only have we had the conversation, we have yearly trips to the gynecologist to check her hymen.
Oh, okay.
I'm done with you right now.
People were shocked, and social media went wild. Overnight, Deja's private life was suddenly all over the internet. Everyone had an opinion, and it wasn't pretty. T.I. got a lot of backlash, and Deja was caught in the middle of it all. But Deja didn't just sit back and take it. She spoke out about how the whole situation affected her mental health.
It's okay to cry. It is. We're not going to judge you. We're your cousins. You're a human being. It's okay to be emotional.
This situation is just a little traumatizing for me.
She talked about dealing with depression and anxiety and how hard it was to trust people. T.I. tried to make things right.
I was able to speak to her mom, and I said, is there anything that you want me to do? Is there anything in any way that I could clear this up?
He apologized publicly and said he was just trying to protect his daughter, but the damage was already done. The silver lining? Deja used her platform to talk about mental health. She showed other young people that it's okay to struggle and ask for help. And T.I., he learned the hard way that being overprotective can backfire big time. Diddy's daughter Chance. It might seem like growing up with a music mogul dad means everything's easy, but Chance's story shows it's not. Chance was born into a world of privilege, but all that luxury comes with a price. And for Chance, that price was living her life under a microscope, because when you're Diddy's daughter, every post can turn into a headline. Chance found this out the hard way when some of her social media content stirred up major controversy. Chance posted some pics from her Sweet 16 party, and the public went crazy. Some thought it was too extravagant. Others said she was flaunting her wealth. Instead of hiding away from the criticism, Chance decided to use her platform to speak out. She started sharing more about her life, her thoughts, and even her struggles. And the good thing was that people started to listen. They saw that behind all the glitz, Chance was just a regular girl trying to figure things out. But let's not forget about Diddy and all this. It would have been smarter and safer to keep Chance out of the spotlight, but nope, that wasn't Daddy's style. He's been right there, supporting her every step of the way. He's always posting proud dad moments on his Instagram, showing the world how much he loves his little girl. Recently, he posted a cute birthday wish for his daughter saying, "I'm so proud of you, Chance. I love you. At my fancy Chance," he added, along with a string of emoji. This was the first post on his Instagram after he deleted all the content in the light of recent lawsuits against him. Diddy's even given Chance some pretty solid advice about dealing with fame. He's told her to stay true to herself and not let the haters get her down. It seems to be working. Chance has managed to carve out her own identity, separate from her famous dad. She's into fashion, she's got her own style, and she's not afraid to speak her mind. Through it all, Chance has shown that she's got some serious strength. She's faced the critics head-on, she's stood up for herself, and she's even used her platform to talk about important issues. Lil Wayne's daughter Reginae. At the ripe old age of 10, Reginae was already in the spotlight, starring in a reality show about her dad's record label. She kept pushing forward, trying to make a name for herself. She even joined a girl group called the OMG Girls when she was just 11. Now let's talk about relationships. Her on-again, off-again relationship with rapper YFN Lucci was all over social media and the gossip sites. Every fight, every makeup, every breakup, it was all out there for everyone to see, and people had a lot to say about it. Some thought she was too young, others thought he was bad news. Everyone had an opinion on her love life, but Reginae didn't let all that drama keep her down. She kept pushing forward, trying new things and living her life. She's been in movies, she's got her own clothing line, and she's even written a book. Of course, it hasn't all been smooth sailing, Reginae's gotten into some hot water for her lifestyle choices. Remember when she went to that infamous cucumber party? People were not happy about that, let me tell you. They thought it was too wild, too grown up, but Reginae stood her ground. She apologized for disappointing people, but she also made it clear that she's going to live her life the way she wants to.
I feel like the cucumber situation, I feel like to each his own, that's what you do, but it's very degrading.
But what exactly happened at the said party? Well, Reginae was seen at Trouble's Atlanta pool party, which gained notoriety for its explicit cucumber-related activities. After being recorded at the event, Reginae explained on social media that she attended the party to spy on her on-again, off-again boyfriend, YFN Lucci. I went to the party to spy on Ray, Lucci, she tweeted. Females, don't act like you never did it. But when I heard about the cucumber activities, I left. Reginae acknowledged that her actions involving her boyfriend have made her look foolish and have drawn public criticism. TBH, I've made myself look like a fool for this man, and I apologize for allowing you guys to see it, she continued. I'm young and still learning. Unfortunately, every move I make is publicized. I can't control it. Emma tried to be more private from now on. It's hard because I've always been so open and honest, but I gotta learn how to deal with my problems alone and in private. She emphasized that she has worked hard to build her image and brand, and does not want this incident to undermine her efforts. These days, Reginae's all about building her own brand. She's got millions of followers on social media, she's working on her acting career, and she's not afraid to speak her mind.
Trust me, I grew up in this life, and everything that my parents did, my mama, my daddy did, it came back to me, and that's not cute.
Well, it just goes to show that even when you're born into fame, you've got to work hard to make your own way. Reginae could have just coasted on her dad's name, but instead, she's out there hustling, trying new things, and facing her critics head on. Notorious B.I.G.'s daughter, Tiana. Tiana was just a baby when her father was tragically. She had to grow up hearing stories about this larger-than-life figure who was her dad, but never got to experience it firsthand. But don't think for a second that Tiana let that hold her back. Nope, she's been out there making her own name. She's got her own clothing line, and she's not afraid to speak her mind.
Ever done. I've had my clothing line for over 5 years now, about to be my 7th-year anniversary. And when I first started it, a lot of people were like, you need to do a show, but I barely even had a name yet for Notorious.
Now, sometimes life throws you a curveball. Tiana had one of those moments in August 2022. She found herself in some hot water when her boyfriend got into some serious legal trouble. And guess who had to come to the rescue? Tiana herself. Tiana Wallace, daughter of the late Notorious B.I.G., posted a $1 million bail for her longtime partner, Tyshawn Baldwin, after he was arrested for a hit-and-run incident that injured 3 people, including a mother and her baby. On August 10th, Baldwin allegedly fled from police during a routine traffic stop in Queens, New York, and hit a group of pedestrians. He surrendered 6 days later. Baldwin was held on a $1 million bond set by Judge Scott Dunn, which Wallace secured using her $1.5 million Brooklyn home through bail bondsman Ira Judelson. Baldwin faces a 17-count complaint, including charges of reckless endangerment, unlawful fleeing of a police officer, endangering the welfare of a child, obstructing governmental administration, assault, and other vehicle-related offenses. If convicted, he faces up to 25 years in prison. Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz condemned Baldwin's actions as shameful and stressed the responsibility that comes with driving. As alleged, the defendant was operating a vehicle with a suspended license when he struck and injured 3 pedestrians, including a young child, all while callously fleeing a traffic stop, Katz said. Driving is a privilege, and every single person who gets behind the wheel of a car bears an individual responsibility to drive safely. Baldwin's attorney, Kenneth Belkin, urged the public to keep an open mind, emphasizing Baldwin's presumed innocence and suggesting there is more to the story than the NYPD's account. I urge the public to keep an open mind with respect to this case. And remember, my client is still presumed innocent, Belkin said. The only version of events out there is the NYPD's version of events, and there's more to this story than that. People were quick to share their opinions on Tiana's stunt, saying she was being reckless or naive. But Tiana didn't let all that noise get to her. She kept her head high and focused on her own path. Tiana's been using her platform for other remarkable things too. She's not just sitting back and enjoying the perks of her famous last name. Nope, she's out there trying to make a difference. She's been involved in charity, work, helping out underprivileged kids in Brooklyn. Tiana's also been vocal about social issues, using her social media to speak out about things that matter to her. She's not afraid to stand up for what she believes in, even if it might ruffle some feathers. And isn't that what it's all about? Finding your own voice, standing up for what you believe in, and not letting others define you. Tiana might have started out as just Biggie's daughter, but she's proving that she's so much more than that. She's Tiana Wallace, and she's writing her own story, one day at a time.
Now, do you feel like you have a lot to live up to, you know what I'm saying, being that you are Big's daughter?
Yes, a
Yeah?
lot. Yeah, I do.
You feel the pressure even today?
No, I do. The last name, it holds a lot of weight. Like, people actually recognize me just for my last name. Like,
Eazy-E's daughter, Ebi. Much like Tiana, Ebi was just a little kid when her dad, the legendary Eazy-E, passed away. Growing up was very bittersweet for me. Ebi shared with Distractify. On one hand, it was super cool to know that your dad really made an impact in the world. But then, at the same time, it was also very sad because I couldn't celebrate who he is with him. But as she grew up, she started to have some serious questions about what really happened.
When my dad died, there was like a secret deathbed marriage that took place, and the woman who married him on his deathbed drew up a will and a trust that basically took everything.
And you know what? She wasn't about to sit back and wonder. Nope, she decided to go out there and find the answers herself. Ebi decided to make a whole documentary about it. I feel like a lot of my father's accomplishments have been overshadowed by his death, but I'm hoping that once we get to the bottom of this, he can finally be highlighted in the way he deserves. She was determined to get to the bottom of things, no matter what, but it wasn't easy. She ran into all sorts of obstacles along the way. One would assume everyone would be on board with Ebi trying to honor her dad's memory, right? Well, think again. Some of Eazy-E's other kids weren't too happy about the documentary. They said Ebi was just doing it for attention and money. But Ebi didn't let that stop her. She kept pushing forward even when things got tough. And trust me, they got pretty tough. There were delays, funding issues, and all sorts of drama. She found herself in the middle of some major family disputes. Everyone had an opinion about what she was doing, and not all of them were nice. She kept working on her documentary, determined to share her dad's story with the world, and she finally did it. After years of hard work and dealing with all sorts of obstacles, she released her documentary. Even now, she's been using her platform to honor her dad's legacy in a positive way, and also make a name for herself, separate from her father's legacy.
And I'm always trying to prove I'm just Ebi. I don't want to be known as Eazy-E's daughter. I hope that one day they're saying he's Ebi's dad.
She's been sharing stories about him, keeping his music alive, and making sure new generations know just how important Eazy-E was to hip-hop. All that because she believes that's what her father would have wanted her to do. I think that he would tell me to own everything of my own, she says thoughtfully. Be independent, just like he was, and stand up for what I believe in. Let's be real for a second. Growing up as a rapper's daughter isn't all private jets and VIP parties. These girls have had to deal with some serious stuff. It's like they're living their lives under a microscope, with everyone watching their every move. One thing that keeps popping up in all these stories, the pressure of living up to their famous parents' names. And let's not forget about social media. Back in the day, celebs could keep their personal lives pretty private, but now, everything's out there for the world to see. One wrong tweet or Instagram post, and boom, you're in the middle of a media firestorm. These rapper daughters have learned that lesson the hard way, but it's not all bad news. A lot of these girls have found ways to turn their struggles into strengths. They're using their platforms to speak out about important issues, starting their own businesses, and showing the world that they're more than just their famous last names. And these daughters are proving to be pretty resilient. They've faced criticism, family drama, and public scandals, but they keep pushing forward. It's like they've taken all those tough experiences and used them to become stronger, smarter, and more independent. So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, it just goes to show that fame comes with a price. These rapper daughters have had to grow up fast, deal with intense public scrutiny, and find ways to create their own identities separate from their famous dads. But at the end of the day, they're showing us that it's possible to rise above the drama and carve out your own path. They're turning their struggles into opportunities for growth and using their platforms to make a difference. So next time you see a headline about a rapper's daughter, remember, there's usually more to the story than meets the eye. These girls have been through a lot, but they're coming out stronger on the other side. And isn't that something we can all learn from?